Hey, welcome to my channel. My name is Ken and I'm on a journey to lose as much weight as I possibly can so I can become a fat guy no more. Well, what a week this past week was. July almost over. Of course, I'm a couple weeks behind on these videos as we know, but wow, what a week it's been. I had a lot of fun this week. Did a few really fun things. I'll talk about them here in a moment. But before we get to that, let me say thank you to all of the new subscribers that are coming on. Man, that number's jumping up there. I'm trying to get to that magical 1,000 mark. So if you haven't subscribed, would you please go ahead and hit that button for me. I could show you some data here that shows that the majority of people that watch my videos haven't subscribed yet. So man, if you're one of those, please hit that button for me and help me out. All right, so this past weekend, a movie that I've been waiting for was finally released, Twisters. Have you seen Twisters? If so, comment down below, let me know what you thought. You know, I'm a big fan of the original movie Twister. I could quote that movie pretty much daily, to be honest with you. So I've been really looking forward to this one. Of course, now living in the Oklahoma City metro area, this one hit a little close to home. I mean, it really did. It's got a few of our local weathermen that I'm used to watching on TV. So when you're watching a movie and you hear that voice, you're like, whoa, I know who that is. Yeah, just kind of gives you the feels just a little bit more, if you know what I mean. Of course, those red dirt roads that are so famous for Oklahoma. I mean, there's some scenes that you just know were filmed here in Oklahoma. And then a few that really kind of surprised me. There was the scene in the coffee shop that was supposed to be New York. Yeah, that's in the middle of downtown Oklahoma City. I drove by it just the other day, took a few pictures. So this right here is what they call New York City. I guess if you crop in a little ways, maybe it kinda looks like part of New York City. And this place here, the Gilded Acorn, was the coffee shop where Javi met Kate and he talked her into coming back. No spoilers, sorry, that's all I'll say. But yeah, what a great movie. I absolutely loved it. The action, the tornadoes. Man, when those sirens went off, we know what those sound like. So, you know, it really kind of hit good there. So I saw it in IMAX. Yeah, I can't wait for next storm season to go back out chasing again because I really enjoy that. Haven't seen one myself. Hope to see one, but you know, way out in the field somewhere where nobody gets hurt. To me, that would be the ultimate. Thursday night, I went down to Bricktown Comedy Club. I love going to see live stand-up comedy. And there was an old boy in town by the name of Gabriel Rutledge. Have you guys ever heard of Gabriel Rutledge? You know, it wasn't until just a few months ago that I'd heard of him. And evidently, a bunch of my friends from back home knew exactly who I was talking about because, well, he's from back home. I was born and raised in Olympia, Washington, graduated from Tumwater High School, just on the south side of Olympia, and he went to a rival high school. He was just 2 years behind me, so I graduated in 91, he graduated in 93, I believe it was, and yeah, so he's pretty popular in Western Washington, but I'd never heard of him, and so I watched his special called Nectarine. Oh my goodness, there is something about this guy. He is hilarious. Probably my favorite comedian out there right now, because I'll tell you what, I've seen Jay Chandrasekhar, Trey Crowder, Tim Meadows, who else have I seen? Chris Kattan, Josh Blue, and Jay Muse, of course. I've seen Jay Muse down there a couple different times. Jason Muse, you know, from Jay and Silent Bob, Kevin Smith's movies. All amazing comedians, but I have never heard a crowd laugh so hard and so loud and for so long as they did when Gabriel Rutledge was on stage. So if you get the chance, go check him out. Definitely. He is quite funny. It was kind of cool. Got to meet him after the show and we've talked online a couple different times and the first thing he says to me is, "You're the one from Tumwater, aren't you?" I did have my Sonics jersey on, so that may have given it away a little bit. But yeah, great guy, great comedian. If you get the chance to see him, absolutely go and see him. This past Friday night, my wife dragged me to the Janet Jackson and Nelly concert. That's right, the guy you're looking at here went and saw Janet Jackson and Nelly. I know that sounds a little odd for me maybe, but it was a good show. It really was. The best part about it though is we just bought cheapy seats up in the rafters of the Paycom Center. And for some reason, I don't know what it was, they decided to close our section. So they moved us down like 15 rows from the side of the stage. Yeah, much better seats than what we would have had. So that was absolutely spectacular. Those seats had been selling for about $150 originally, and we only paid $25 for ours and we got moved down there. So yeah, I'm not complaining. It was a great show. Not a big fan of either one, honestly. I mean, I know a lot of their music because my wife listens to them. And of course, Janet from, way back in the 80s. But I had a good time. I really did. It's always fun to go out and listen to some live music, have a good time. So it was fun. It was a really good time. And one of the things that really stuck out at me for that night. Well, actually, there's probably two things that really stuck out at me. So one of the things that really stuck out at me was that there were so many things going on in downtown Oklahoma City that night, right? So you had the baseball game, the Oklahoma City Baseball Club, the old Dodgers. You had a comedy show at Bricktown Comedy Club. And then, of course, at Paycom, Janet Jackson and Nelly. So there was really a fight to find any kind of free parking. And I'm one of those kinds that I absolutely hate paying for parking, hate paying for parking. So I'll try my best to get a free spot. And I did, but it took a little while to find it. And then it was quite the walk from the streetcar stop. But I made it. I did it. I made the walk. I was hurting, don't get me wrong. I've been mentioning before in my other videos how this left foot has been really bad. And that's why I'm getting those new braces made. And I was able to make that walk. Got to the arena, got to our seats after we found out we'd been upgraded, and I was quite the happy man. What we had actually done for that night to make sure that we had room, because my wife and I have never sat side by side in seats like that at an arena or even a movie theater, period, since we've known each other, is we bought a couple extra seats just to make sure that we would have some room to spread out if needed. So when we got to our seats and we were able to sit side by side for the first time ever, I mean, that alone is such an amazing non-scale victory. I mean, it just, so exciting to me that we were able to do that. We were so comfortable, and so much so, we actually texted a friend of ours that was sitting way back of the arena, way to the back, and said, hey, come on down. We'll meet you up top and give you our extra 2 tickets so you guys can join us here so much closer to the stage. And so they did. So the 4 of us had a great time. And I mean, I could not have been more excited. That lets me know that we could get some decent seats for the upcoming Thunder season, and I'm looking forward to that very much so. All right, so let's just jump in here. This week, I had a moment that quite honestly scared the bejesus out of me. I didn't know what was going on, and I almost called the medics, to be honest. I went to stand up off the couch, and things just went... If you've been following any of my videos, you know that I've been having issues with my ear, dizziness, all that stuff. That's still going on. But this was different, and this was much bigger scale than I've had. I almost fell over. I thought I was going to pass out. I had to get back to that couch and sit down, and I mean, I felt like garbage. When my wife came into the room, she brought the blood pressure machine and wanted me to check my blood pressure. Now, my blood pressure is definitely high at times. I do take medication for that, of course, and diet. But she wanted me to check it anyways. So we did, and it was like 90/67. Yeah, that's right, 90/67. It was extremely low. I had no clue, no way to know why my blood pressure would be that low. I mean, that's almost dangerously low, especially for somebody my size. That's really pushing it. I mean, that's time to almost go to a hospital. So I did like most of us do, right? I went to Dr. Google and I said, why is my blood pressure low? Well, there's, of course, many reasons. It could be that you're taking diuretics, which I do. I have for years. It could be that you stood up too fast, which I absolutely did. And then I found one that I think hit, and I believe that's what it was. It told me that my potassium and sodium was way out of whack. And if it's out of whack, it's going to cause that. And so I made a few adjustments and started feeling much better. And I am a firm believer, and that's what the problem was. Have you seen my video about my electrolyte mix? If you haven't, I'll leave it linked at the end. If you haven't, would you please go watch it? Click like, leave a comment, help out the algorithm for me, please. I had upped my potassium and really didn't up my sodium. And so being low sodium and having higher potassium, that caused an issue. And I'm a full believer, and that's what it was. So I'm thinking about doing a video either this Sunday or next, talking about the perils of having too much potassium and not enough sodium. It's amazing how the body works sometimes, right? So be looking for that one when I release it. Please give it a watch as well. It should be something that everybody knows, especially when you're going through this, trying to lose weight, trying to eat healthy. there's so many little things that can affect how you're feeling and your overall health that, you know, I've been doing this for just a little over 2 years since I started Mounjaro, and this is something that I had never ever thought about. This is something that I'll be talking to my doctor a little bit more about the next time I see her, but I'm pretty sure that I've got it corrected now, but it was quite the scary situation at that moment. So let's take a look at this week's numbers here. As always, I got my phone with me so I can take a look. Looks like my protein came in at 77 grams per day. That's pretty much right where I want to be. My fiber is still down at around 28 grams per day. I don't know, I'm kind of struggling to get that one up. Maybe I'm going to have to start having a few fiber gummies just to make sure that I'm getting that mark. I had upped my sodium level a little bit just to be safe with everything that was going on, so I came in at 1,331 for the week. Typically I target 12 to 1,300, and so I'm perfectly fine with that. And my potassium came in at 4,172. That's about 1,000 less than I really want, so I'm going to have to work on that as well. Hey, so let me cut in here real quick. Whoops, I just realized while I'm editing this week's video that I forgot to mention how many total calories I had per day. So it looks like I averaged, as we can see here, 1,287 for this week. So I target at least 1,300, so that's not too bad at all. So what did all that do for me on the scale? Well, let me take a step back here and talk about a little bit more about the changes I made. So I had upped my potassium, and I had not messed with that sodium too much, and then got dizzy, blah, blah, blah. And then I started upping my sodium a little bit. Well, what that did for me is that's helping hydrate me. We talked about this before, a couple videos ago, I believe, where I have my hematocrit or hematocrit, however you pronounce it, levels were showing that they were high, which often means that I'm a little bit dehydrated. So that's why we wanted to up the potassium, was to try to get hydrated again. And I could definitely tell it worked, because my legs feel swollen. Let me show you this picture here. You could see where I've taken off my brace, and you could just see how much it's pushing into it. Now remember, this brace has been loose. So loose that I've had to get new ones made that I'll be able to pick up here in a few weeks. But you can see just how much it's pushing into me, and that's because of that extra fluid that my body is holding on to. Thanks to that, by Tuesday, earlier this week, I had gone up 8 pounds. 8 pounds. I know it was fluid. I know I'm messing with my hydration levels to try to get it up to where I need to be. What's really interesting is I haven't really felt dehydrated, but the blood work shows that I am. So this is what we're going to have to do to try to, you know, achieve maximum health, right? And so knowing that, having more potassium, a little bit more sodium, drinking a little bit more water, I averaged right about 80 to 85 ounces a day. And I'm definitely holding on to that fluid. Though, when I got on the scale, I was actually kind of excited to see that I threw a goose egg. Yeah, I'm even for the week. So that tells me that I'm doing what I'm supposed to, and that I'm actually would have lost if I hadn't have worked on my hydration levels. But now that I'm here, my hydration levels are up. I'm hoping next week is a good weight loss week, right? Kicking rid of that fat and everything. And then I'm back up, and I'm going to stay hydrated moving forward. And I could feel it with my legs and my feet, definitely, compared to what it was before. Man, what a difference that they show. You know, they definitely got more fluid on them. I'm feeling much better. Yeah, I'm excited actually that it was something that simple maybe that was making me feel a little out of whack. Now that I'm having more potassium and drinking a couple of my electrolyte drinks per day, it's really making a difference. I'm not worried that my weight adjusted. Of course, once you start talking about hydration and you're putting more hydration into your body, you're just going to go up a little bit, and I knew that was going to come. And I'm not worried about that at all, but going forward, now is where I want to start seeing weight loss again. Now that I'm hydrated, my body should be working better, so I want to see it starting to drop again. And we'll just see what happens. Again, I don't set goals. I don't put stress on me to lose weight by a certain time. This is just what I'm thinking is going to happen now that my body is starting to get in sync and get going. Of course, once I can get back up on the treadmill and start doing it, maybe get a bicycle like I mentioned, I think, last video, right? Start getting active again. That should just really kick everything into motion for me. hopefully. So that's what I'm looking forward to. Good times ahead, good times ahead. You know, again, didn't lose anything this week. I'm not worried about it because of working on the hydration levels. There are more important things than a number on the scale. You know, we're not just trying to lose weight. I mean, I say that in my intro all the time, right? Lose as much weight as I possibly can. Well, really, it would be a much longer intro if I really told the entire story, right? I'm trying to get to maximum health, trying to eat proper, trying to be hydrated right, trying to make sure that I am in tune with my body to make sure that I'm doing what I need so it runs properly. So try to take care of it so it takes care of me. I know that sounds cliche, but that's just the truth. Absolutely. So hey, I've been rambling on quite a while now here. I'm going to go ahead and go. I do appreciate you coming by and watching this video. Again, if you haven't hit that subscribe button, please do for me. Help me out. Help me get to that magical 1,000 subscriber mark. I would greatly appreciate it. And as always, I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching. If you'd like to follow me on my journey to become a fat guy no more, hit that subscribe button and don't forget to hit that bell so you can get notifications every time I upload a new video.